Hi guys, Christmas is around the corner and I figured I'd share a pastel recipe with you guys because I haven't done a pastel recipe on my channel yet. And I'm just gonna do a really quick chicken pastel. I'll do a real version in Trinidad with the fresh banana or fig leaves, but I couldn't get any fresh leaves over here because it's like 20 degrees in New York, so there's no fresh fig trees over here. So I got some frozen leaves and I'm gonna show you guys how I make it with those leaves, and I will try to do a better version in Trinidad. So if you guys want to see how I do this really yummy chicken pastels for Christmas, then keep watching. So here are the ingredients to make the pastel filling. I'll show you guys how to make the dough after I'm finished preparing the filling. So all my ingredients here will be listed in the description box below, so go check that out to find the exact list of ingredients. I have some minced chicken. You can use turkey, lamb, pork, beef, whatever kind of filling you want to use. I prefer to use chicken or turkey. I have some garlic, some chopped celery, as well as a little bit of chopped parsley. I have some chopped pimentos, and you'll need a lot of pimentos for this. You need lots of flavor for pastels. I have some ketchup. I'm using Matook's ketchup, some fine thyme, some chopped bandhania or shadon beni or culantro, some scallions, or we call this chive in Trinidad, some chopped onion, and a few hot peppers chopped. And you'll need some salt, pepper, and some Worcestershire sauce. And if I forget anything, I will have it listed down below, and I'll also tell you if I forget anything. So you'll notice some of the ingredients are missing, like raisins and capers and stuff. I prefer not to put those things in my pastel. This is just my preference. However, if you want to add it to your pastel, you can. So the traditional things you would add to pastels would be raisins, capers, olives, and I've tried it with those before, but it's just not my thing. So if you guys want to do that, then by all means you can, and if you don't like raisins, you can substitute it with cranberries if you want. So now we're gonna go ahead and start cooking the filling. So I have my pot on medium-high heat, and I'm gonna add some coconut oil in. I love the flavor that the coconut oil gives to the meat. Okay, so once that coconut oil is nice and hot, the first thing I'm gonna add is the onions. And you wanna let that fry for about half of a minute. Now I'm gonna add the hot pepper, the thyme, garlic, and just a little bit of the celery and the parsley. The reason why I've added this before the meat is because I want to infuse the meat, or the oil I should say, I want to infuse the oil with all the flavors. So that's why I wanted to chunky it or fry it in the oil. So after about a minute of frying up the garlic and stuff in the oil, we're going to add the meat in. And you want to take a spoon and mash it in to all those seasonings. So at this point now you want to salt it and pepper it. I'm going to add some pepper. Now I'm going to add my salt. So you just want to mix that in. So now you just want to let this cook for about 15 minutes, and then we'll start adding the rest of the ingredients. So as it cooks, you want to go in ever so often and just break up the pieces of meat because you don't want it to be in lumps. So you'll notice there's a lot of liquid now. That's just the natural liquid from the chicken. So that's gonna reduce That's why I'm leaving it to cook on medium-high heat. So about 10 minutes into cooking time, I'm gonna add my Worcestershire sauce, however you pronounce that. I'm not good at saying that word. So I'm gonna add a little bit. And this gives the meat a really distinct flavor, pastels. So I would suggest using this. There's no substitute for this. I'm also gonna add the ketchup in, and in place of ketchup, you can use tomato paste, or you can use ruku, if you know what that is. It's what you use to make ketchup. So I think it needs a little bit more of that Worcestershire sauce. I'm also gonna add the pimentos in now, and I'm gonna add the rest of the celery. The shadon beni and the chive or the scallion, they'll be added closer to the end. So there's still a lot of liquid that needs to be reduced. So I'm gonna leave it for our next 5 to 10 minutes, and then it should be finished. So the chicken is nearly finished. What I'm gonna add now is the scallions or the chive and the culantro, shadon beni or bandhania. So this looks like it's ready. I'm just gonna leave it for about 2 minutes again, just to get any extra liquids out, and then I'll turn it off. So in total, I would say it cooked for about 25 minutes. So now what you want to do is just taste it for salt or pepper or anything else, and it should be ready. And the only thing you want to do is let this cool, and you want to fish these thyme sprigs out. Well, just let it cool and then you can do that. I'm gonna let my filling cool, and then I will make the dough for the pastels maybe in a few hours. So to make the actual pastel dough, I have some cornmeal, and there's a lot of controversy over cornmeal versus corn flour, and the brand I use in Trinidad is Promasa CornFLOUR, but I cannot find it in New York anywhere, so I'm gonna use cornmeal. I've actually used cornmeal before and it's worked, so I'm gonna show you guys the recipe with the cornmeal. When I go to Trinidad, I'll use the Promasa and show you how it comes out with that as well. So I'm using this Goya Macerapa cornmeal, and I have some salt, some butter, and I have some water getting warm on the stove right now. You can warm it up in a kettle. You just want to get it to a nice light boil. So the first thing we're gonna do is add some salt. Now you just want to give that a little mix. Now you're gonna add your butter, and I usually add the butter to the water and let it melt, but because I'm using this cornmeal, I actually don't know how much water I'm gonna need, so I'm just gonna add the butter here. When I add the warm water, it'll melt the butter. So cornmeal is something that really absorbs water, so you'll see I'm adding a lot, but it's actually gonna suck in all that water. It's like a sponge. So I have my warm water here, and I'm gonna add it. And you just want to keep mixing. It's gonna get quite tough to mix, because as it absorbs that water, it's gonna get heavier and really dense. So it's absorbed all that liquid, and it just keeps getting heavier and heavier. So if you choose to use corn flour, or if you can find it where you live, I mean, I can get it on Amazon, but I could not get it in time to make my pastels. So I just said, let me just use cornmeal. So it's come together now into a nice dough. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna roll them out into balls, and I'm gonna place it onto a plate or maybe a tray or something. So I just oil this tray lightly, or you can spray it with some non-stick spray. And what you want to do is make your cornmeal into some balls. Try to get it into as even balls as possible. So so that each pastel is going to have the same amount. And you roll it to the size of how big you want your pastel to be. So this is a good size for me. So I'm just going to finish rolling them out and I'll show you guys how it looks. So I've finished rolling out my cornmeal dough. I have my banana leaves here. I could not get fresh leaves because I live in New York. It's like 1 degree Celsius right now. There's no fresh banana trees here. But if you live in Trinidad or Florida or a warm place, then for sure you'll get fresh banana leaves. So this is the first time I'm actually gonna try this out. So let's hope it works. I took it out of the bag and it was frozen. So what I did was I ran some steaming hot water over it from the tap, and it actually separated it. So usually what I would do is put it over the flame so that it's more pliable to bend and fold when you put your pastel in. But by putting the hot water over it, it actually made it pliable. So I don't need to do that step. But if you're using fresh leaves, you would wanna put it over the flame. Or even if you're using the frozen one, but because I put the hot water over it, it actually helped it to become more pliable and bendable. So what you want to do is you want to cut it into pieces like this, about this size. This one has a little tear in it because while it was frozen I was trying to pull it apart and that didn't work. So you'd want to use a piece like this and make sure it's dry. So I'm gonna cut all my banana or fig leaves into pieces like this, and then we'll start filling it and making the pastels. So we're gonna wrap our pastel now, and my leaf is nice and pliable. I'm gonna put some oil, just a layer of oil. Okay, so I have my banana leaf or fig leaf here, and what I'm gonna do is just put a layer of oil on top. Make sure that it's nice and pliable. I still put it over the flame just to be sure. Now you're gonna take your dough, place it here. If you have a pastel press, then that would be perfect because then you'll have a nice flat dough, but I don't have a pastel press. So I'm just gonna use this, or you can use a piece of plastic wrap or something. I just oil this piece of banana leaf and I'm gonna place the oil part over the dough, and I'm just gonna press it down. Then I'm gonna use my bailner and just lightly roll it. Of course, with the pastel press, it's gonna come out much nicer and smoother. I'm gonna put my filling inside. Now you wanna take this side, bring it over. The oil is gonna help the dough to just stick onto the meat. Now bring the next side. Now you want to bring the ends in. You can always use your hands to fix it if it's opening up. And when it cooks, it's gonna pull together really nicely. Now I'm just gonna take my hand and bring this side in. And I'm actually not gonna tie mine because I don't boil my pastels. I actually just steam it. So I'm gonna bring it in. And then you want to tuck in the ends. My ends are really short, so it's kind of hard to tuck in. Then you can tie it like this and leave it this way, or you can also put some foil over it, which I am going to do. So I'm going to put it in some foil. And if you're boiling it, then you want to make sure that it's sealed properly, because when you boil it, you don't want any water to get in there. So fold in your ends tightly. I don't need to do that because I'm steaming mine. I don't even need to put foil. So I'm just showing you guys you can do it this way. So I've finished wrapping all the pastels. So I wrapped it in fig leaf or banana leaf first and then in foil. As I said, I do not submerge my pastels in water, so I really didn't need to add the foil, but I still did to show you guys you can do that. So I got about 18 pastels. I filled some up in Ziploc bags because I'm going to place these in the freezer for Christmas morning. And I'm just going to do 5 now to show you guys. So I have my steamer here that I'm going to place the pastels in. And I don't like to boil my pastels. I just like to steam them. So I'm just going to place it in a way where it's all going to get the same amount of heat. Okay, so I'm going to cover it and I'm going to leave it there for about 20 to 30 minutes. So it's been half an hour. I'm going to turn the pot off, and when you're going to open the cover, just be careful because that steam is going to burn you really bad. So just be careful. If you want, you can let it cool a little bit and then open it up. So I like to eat my pastels hot. I'm going to actually go in and take out one, and I'm going to open it and show you guys what it looks like. So I just opened up one of the pastels and it smells absolutely amazing. The reason why you would use banana leaves or fig leaves for pastel is because it gives a flavor to the pastel. So I'm gonna cut it open. It's actually steaming hot, but you know me, I love food right out of the fire. That is amazing. It's so delicious. And honestly, I notice a difference in taste when you wrap it in the fig leaves and when you wrap it in foil alone. I don't like the taste of the foil. When the foil gets hot, it has a certain taste that I don't like, but when you wrap it in the fig leaves, it's just so delicious. So if you let it cool, it's gonna stay together better. Because I just took it all out when it was really steaming hot, it's breaking apart. But I just can't wait. So I let the pastel cool for a few hours and I'm gonna cut into it and show you guys. And I like to eat mine really hot, so in the previous clip you'll see that it's falling apart, but that's just because it was really hot. But you have to let it cool for it to pull together. Yum, that is so good. And actually there's no difference with the corn flour and the cornmeal. It tastes the exact same. So if you guys have doubts about using cornmeal over corn flour, then trust me, it'll be fine. Just once you steam your pastels long enough, it's gonna come out perfect. So steam it for at least half an hour. Don't steam it for any less time than that. So I hope you guys enjoy this pastel recipe. As I promised, I will do another video when I go to Trinidad with fresh banana leaves or fig leaves, and maybe I'll do a different filling. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Leave me all your comments down below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to see all my latest videos, and I will see you guys in my next one. Hope you guys have an amazing holiday season and a happy New Year 2017.